Hello, everyone. Welcome to Patriots 3, Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. And here's your host, Tim, and special guest, Christopher Key. Christopher, how you doing tonight?
Brother, I'm not 8 feet under. I'm not in jail, so it's a heck of a day, brother. But it's still young. Many things can happen in the next waiting hours.
Well, we just count our blessings. Isn't that right? So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to be going over the Fauci hearing with somebody who is there in person, Mr. Christopher Key. We're going to talk a little bit behind the story behind the vaccine police, and we're going to talk about health in America. There's a lot of important things that have been coming up over this last week, and wow, what an interesting set of topics we have tonight. That's all in store for you. My usual co-host, Matt, he is off tonight, so actually he's working overtime at his regular job, so no need to not follow Matt. So you can find him at Matt of Mystery on X. So let me go ahead and drop that link inside the chat. Normally we post over to his page, but unfortunately to the circumstances, we're not posting the live there tonight. I want to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Pastor Jerry Cook, Politics on the Pulpit, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific. Be sure to catch a show on KHST or KHTS down in Santa Clarita. Wonderful show that he holds, and a great guy. I've met him in person. We talk on the phone on a regular basis. What a good guy, and what a blessing to have in my life. All right, so let's get on to it. You were there at the Fauci hearing. Wow. There was a lot that was going on there, and I want to play back a little bit of video here for the audience so they can see what some of your experience there.
Some of what transpired.
Tell me why we can't go back there, huh?
They restricted it all.
They're restricted. What statute of code that they can restrict this?
Let me try that again.
One more time. Here we go.
Please tell me why we can't go back there, huh?
They restricted it all.
They're restricted. What statute of code that they can restrict this if we, the people, can't come in?
If you let me talk.
All right, I'll let you talk. Go ahead, explain it to me, please.
Let my supervisor come on down.
Please.
He's gonna explain it to you. Okay?
Please.
Give me a second. How you doing, sir?
It's so fun to see you, Christopher.
How you doing?
Oh my God, I'm so excited. We have such good karma.
Staff, no. Are you staff? What were you trying to do?
Where's your boss man at? Huh? I'll go down there and talk to him. Okay. Well, do not put your hand on me, dude. Do not touch me, dude. Do not touch me. You understand? Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Do you comprehend that? Do not touch me. I told you. Where's the police line at? Huh? How's that a police line? I want to talk to your supervisor. Get a supervisor. Get a supervisor. Okay. This is my house. It's our house. Okay. This is a hearing right now that we're supposed to have access to it. And you put your hand on me again, brother. It's gonna be the last. Do not put your hand on me again. Do you comprehend? Do not put your hand on me again, dude. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah. You don't scare me, brother. I'm not one of your little bitches, okay? That's not me.
All right, before we continue on the show,
you do not mess with me.
I want to give a quick disclosure here. We are not here to give medical advice. We are not doctors, so take this for entertainment purposes only. So now that that's out of the way, all right, now we can continue.
Well, brother, let me bring some contents here, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Christopher Key. Christ is in me, is in my name. The establishment can't stand me. Never forget my last name also is Key. God's given us the keys to open up the doors that Satan never wanted open. And we have to do this together. We can't be divided because you might be Jewish, I'm Catholic, you're black, I'm white. We all bleed red. And guys, they're coming for your children. More importantly, they're coming for your grandchildren. A little bit about me. I've been part of 4 national championships, 3 Super Bowls. I've been on the cover of Sports Illustrated, 60 Minutes, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert. They've done everything they can to silence me. They fined me hundreds of millions of dollars 11 years ago. I was a guy that was taken off of YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter before Alex Jones. And then during COVID, they fined me another $6 million. Why? Because I help people without drugs, without chemicals, without surgery. And God, through me, does it very, very well. Okay? I'm not a medical doctor. I would never practice medicine without a license. I don't treat, prevent, or cure anything. All I do is tell people what I would do. And if they choose to do it, we say, wow. God is great. God is good. If you want those things to come back, go back to your evil ways, and I promise you they will. But I'm the vaccine police. I've been policing the CDC, the FDA, the AMA, for over 28 years because of my twins. And my twins had the most rare disease on the planet called phenylketonuria. And because of their rare disease, I was forced to test and prove all things. And I realized that every vaccine that had ever been created, including polio, was a bioweapon. And if you only get one thing out of this message tonight, there is no vaccine, which I call a bioweapon, that should ever be given to an animal, much less a precious child. And if we've got time, I'll break all that down because I've done this for 28 years. Everybody's laughed at me, made fun of me, said I was bat crazy, but the evidence is there. And it starts at 1986, the Act. It starts with what Ronald Reagan passed in 1986, where he exempt every vaccine company from any and all liability. So guys, I've been calling out Fauci. I've been calling out the CDC, Bill Gates, all these organizations, because I knew they wanted us dead. Okay, this is mass eugenics. It's written in stone in Georgia, and the Georgia Guidestones. I was one of the last people to be there where they said they only want 500 million of us on this planet. And guys, it's so much worse than that because their smart cities are in place. They have their AIs in place. They have their clones in place, and they don't need 500 million now. They need zero, nada. And that's why they're doing everything they can to annihilate us. But God's temple is so perfect that they can't kill us all. So what they're trying to do right now is create a civil war. And you can't buy into this agenda. And I went down to Washington, D.C., because I wanted to be there when Fauci gave the congressional hearing. And me and 6 other people, the one young lady got there at 2:30. I got there at 5:30. Okay, 5:30 in the morning I got there. There were 7 of us there. And not one single one of the people were allowed in. The only people they allowed in was the prostitutes. Yeah, that's what I call the press. Prostitutes, the talking parrots, because all they do is regurgitate the narrative that's been written for them by Rockefeller Medicine and the staff. Not one single of us got in. So we finally get in there and we're waiting in this long line, and they basically come to us and say, look, you guys have to clear the hallways. You know, you can't be in the hallways. And I'm like, you know, why? And the girl that got there at 2:30, she had sat down on the floor. Okay. She had sat down on the floor, and all of a sudden the sergeant in arms comes through and says, ma'am, you need to get up. And I'm like, ma'am, she's tired. She's been there at 2:30. She said, no, she needs to get up. I said, well, look. And then the officer said to me, Tim, listen, the officer said to me, Tim, he said, this is her house. And I said, do what? He said, this is her house. You have to obey her. I said, look, no. This is my house. This is our house. And that's not happening. So we got into a confrontation. But again, I know who I am. I understand only from my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I will never stand under any man. And they tried to bully us, this, that, and the other. And again, I didn't want to go to jail. So I went into the elevator and, try to get the officer there to tell me that this was our house, but they wouldn't do it. So then I go up and watch the hearing, and there's hardly nobody in the hearing. Okay. It's very, but they didn't want real people in there because the whole thing, guys, is a show trial. Rand Paul, who put this show trial on, he came walking by me and this young lady. And I said, Mr. Paul, this woman's been here since 2:30. I've been here since 5:30. Not one of the real people's been let in. And he just waved. Guys, this is all theater. And they took us, allowed me to go upstairs and watch. And then finally, I wanted to go back downstairs because I was able to get video of Fauci walking into the hearing. Because they said only press could be here. I am press. And if you want to stop me, let's see what's going to happen, brother. And again, they didn't know what to do with me because they've never had anybody talk to them like that, because most of us, have no idea who we are. Right. You don't comprehend that you're sovereign to the Lord Almighty God. Their statutes and codes, they do not, it's not you. And that's another story for another day. But last thing real quick. So I go back downstairs and I'm like, look, I want to go get footage of Fauci leaving. And he's like, no, that they've condemned the hallway and it's locked down. And I'm like, what? Well, why? And he says, well, I said, look, you need to go get a sergeant. You need to get a sergeant. I need to talk to the sergeant. So he walks and does his own thing. And then I'm sitting there because you see the video stop. I'm sitting there now 5 minutes. Okay. And I'm like, dude, what's going on? And he's like, oh, so I go walking across, and he's like, oh, and he put his hands on me. You don't, that is assault. Okay.
Yes.
He assaulted me, and I had every right to knock his freaking teeth out, but I didn't. Okay. Because then I'd have to go to court. I had to go back to DC. I would win, but it's a big mess, and I don't need that. So I backed up, and then he's telling me, don't cross this police line. Did you see a freaking police line there, dude? I mean, nope. Zero, nada, zilch. And then let's play moving forward, because your people need to see this, because then the sergeant in charge comes over, and this is priceless, because he looks at me and he says he doesn't want to get political when I told him to tell the people whose house this is. Let's play this, brother. You got it. You played on your end.
Oh, okay. We're playing that video again. Okay.
Yeah, but I want everybody to see the rest of the video.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to find that right quick here. Give me half a moment. My apologies. I wasn't prepared on that end.
Well, why he's finding that, guys, know you're sovereign. Know that your body was created in his image, and there should never, ever be any bioweapons that they call vaccines. And this whole thing we're going to talk about here in a minute with Trump signing his executive order is complete, total bullcrap. It has no teeth whatsoever. It's all show and tell.
Yes.
Complete show and tell. You got that video now, brother?
Well, we referring to the one on your page, or are we talking about the ones I showed you before we went live? Yeah,
the one that we were watching about you stopped it. The one we started with me being at the White House, or being there. Yeah, just I want you to play it where you left off, because I want people to see the rest of it.
So I got to find that. My apologies.
Okay, it should be the very first video you got there, brother.
Wait, am I playing that video again? That's my question. Yeah.
Okay. You were playing it, and you only played the first 2 minutes. I want you to carry on.
Yes. So I got to find the remainder of that video, because it's on your page on Facebook.
Oh, it's on my page. Okay. Well, yes. Well, okay, guys, why he's looking for that real quick, I want to go back to 1986, the act. And I need you people to really hear me when I tell you this, that Ronald Reagan passed the Vaccine Injury Act that exempt all vaccine companies from any and all liability. Well, wouldn't you love to have a company that the government came in and said, look, we don't care who you kill, we don't care who you damage, you're exempt of any and all liability. But more importantly, we're going to mandate that everybody buy your product. This happened in 1986. Nobody really talks about this. This is the golden geese laying the golden egg. And this is all about money. And what you don't know is that in 1986, the pharmaceutical companies, the vaccine companies were bankrupt. They had murdered so many people, and they had damaged so many people. They basically went to Congress, they went to the Senate and said, look, we cannot continue. This is what happened in 1986. And you guys think they're safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. Well, I'm here to tell you, again, hear me right now. Please hear me. 2011, get up. Wyatt versus Bushwick ruled that all vaccines are unavoidably unsafe. Why have you not heard about this? Because this was the smoking gun that basically said, look, if you guys are so misinformed, if you guys want to believe the doctors and believe the talking parrots, and you still go take these bioweapons, even though we've already told you all of them are unavoidably unsafe, and you die or you're damaged, the most you can do now is go to vaccine injury court. And if your child dies or is damaged, the most you can get is $250,000 for the death of your child. And what you people need to really hear me when I tell you this, VAERS, they did a study, I think in 2018, I may be wrong on the dates, but it was 2000 something. And they come to find out that it's so hard to report to VAERS. It's so complicated. It's so time consuming that less than 1% of the population that are damaged or die from taking the vaccine actually report. So 1% actually report. Okay. Do you guys want to know? And if your child dies, the most you can get is $250,000. Would you like to know how much money's been paid out with less than 1% reporting? At the most is $250,000. The amount of money that's been paid out now is over $4.3 billion. Did you hear what I just said? $4.3 billion. But yet the television, the talking parrots tell you they're safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective, safe and effective. Does that sound safe and effective? I mean, Tim, does that sound safe and effective?
Not at all. But I mean, here's a fact that a lot of the audience doesn't know, that none of them have been tested. Not placebo, not double-blind placebo tested. None of the vaccines have been tested whatsoever.
Again, I'm glad you brought that up, because in 2018, I think it was, Robert Kennedy Jr., who's now the head of the HHS, him and Del Bigtree sued. They sued HHS to release the safety study. See, back in 1986, Ronald Reagan said, look, if we're going to exempt them of all liability, we got to hold them accountable. So how are we going to hold them accountable? We're going to make them do safety studies, but not every year, Tim, because that would be way too many safety studies. We're going to make them do safety studies every other year. So every other year for 33 years, they were supposed to do a safety study, and they sued to release the safety studies. And guess how many they done, Tim? 0. Wow. Not one. Not a zilch. But yet you people say that I'm crazy because my children have never been vaccinated. My kids never get sick. They never go to the doctor, because when you inject MRC-5, most of your listeners don't have a clue what MRC-5 is. Well, let me inform you. MRC-5 is the little baby boy that they murdered. They murdered, and they used that DNA to grow out most of your vaccines. And then they also take WI-38, the little baby girl that they murdered, and they use that DNA to grow most of your vaccines. And they're taking little boy DNA and little girl DNA, and they're injecting into both of your children, or both of those DNA into your child. And we can't figure out why we have a little boy and little girls that don't know if they have a penis or a vagina. I'm here to tell you, I know why, because they're having both male and female chromosomes injected into their temple. And God never intended it this way. God created his people's image in his image. Yeah. And it does not need aborted fetuses. It does not need mercury and formaldehyde and monkey parts. It doesn't need the peanuts and the eggs. So why are you people not testing and improve all things? I was so blessed because my twins were born with this rare disease, and I was forced to test and prove all things. And I went to my pediatrician 28 years ago, July 30th. That was my twins' birthday. I've got twins. My greatest accomplishment in life is being father to twins. And when they were born, I went to my pediatrician. I said, look, doc, my kids have this rare disease. You know, what can you tell me about PKU and vaccines? And the doc said, Mr. Key, I don't know anything about PKU and vaccines, but what I do know, your children are going to get 72 vaccines before they're 18 years of age. And I said, Tim, I said, why? Well, why 72? And he said, Mr. Key, I don't know. I said, okay, you don't know. I said, well, look, brother, I love research. My background's in exercise physiology, kinesiology. I've studied this temple for 20, 30 years, and I know how this body functions. I love to read randomized double-blind placebo studies. I said, Doc, are there any studies to show me that new schedule's safe? He said, Mr. Key, there's at least 1,000. He said, no, there's probably 10,000 studies. And I said, great. Can I see one? And he said, do what? I said, can I see one of those 10,000 studies? And he said, right now? I said, look, brother, yes. I said, you got my precious twins on the table. You're about to inject them with this new schedule of 72 vaccines. I've got to know that it's safe and effective. He's like, you don't trust me? I'm like, brother, no, this is the first time I've met you. I don't know anything about you. And brother, I love you. God bless you. But I've got to see the studies for myself. And he said, Mr. Key, nobody's ever asked me that. I do not have time to get you one of those 10,000 studies today. He said, but I promise that me or my staff will make sure you get it before your next visit. And I said, that's fair. I said, you're not touching my twins today, but give me that information and let me do my own research. And brother, we came back in, I think it was 9 months later, and the nurse has 3 shots for my son, 3 shots for my daughter. They're about to inject them. And I was like, ma'am, what are you doing? She said, I said, look, you need to go get Doc, because Doc was supposed to send me just one of those 10,000 studies, I've got nothing, and we need to talk. And Tim, he comes in the room, brother, and he looks around and he's like, Mr. Key, there are no studies. But Mr. Key, they have to be safe. You know, they've been approved by the CDC. They've been approved by the FDA, the AMA. You don't believe us? You don't trust us? And I said, look, Doc, hell no. I said, brother, no disrespect, but you took an oath. You took an oath to do no harm. I said, brother, I watched you walk in that room across the way. I watched you close the door, and then I heard a child scream. So I know you just injected one, at least, of those 72 new schedule of vaccines to that child, knowing there's not one single study. I said, if you lost your freaking mind and you want to still inject it into my children? He said, Mr. Key, you're raising your voice. I said, you dang right I am. He said, well, I think you need to leave. And Tim, I left that day, and we didn't talk about this, but I used to be very well respected in health and wellness. I brought to market a device called the Bod Pod that's a gold standard around the world. I sold to the Buffalo Bills, Indianapolis Colts, the Air Force Academy, the Naval Academy. It was a $35,000 piece of equipment that measures body fat. That was my first child. And I was always very innovative in health and wellness, and I worked with some of the most elite athletes. They would come to me after they got operated in Health South by Jimmy Andrews and worked on by Kevin Wilk. And if they stayed in town for any longer than a week, they'd come see me at my health club down the street. So I had a lot of respect of some very high fluent athletes and medical doctors. And when I went down this rabbit hole, Tim, 28 years ago, and I realized that everything I'd been taught about vaccines, because I used to pay to have people vaccinated at my health clubs because my best friends were all medical doctors, and I thought vaccines cured polio, and I thought vaccines were the best thing ever. And then I went down this rabbit hole, and I realized that every single vaccine was a bioweapon. Every single one. There is not one vaccine that should be delayed. There's not one vaccine that should be done this, that, and the other. The only safe vaccine is the one not taken. I'm not a medical doctor.
Right.
I'm not giving medical advice, but you are bat crazy if you inject those poisons into your child. And I don't care who tells you what, you need to take the time to go do the research and realize why the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, ruled that all vaccines are unavoidably unsafe, and they will try to gaslight you and say, well, this is the, no. They told you right there in black and white. And I know all of you are saying, well, why isn't my doctor telling me that? Well, you know, why is the television not telling me that? Because, guys, I want to believe that they're just retarded and they don't know. And I think there was a point there that they didn't. But now I personally have served the entire House of Representatives, the entire Senate, President Trump, Bill Gates, Mr. Biden, my 11 undeniable facts regarding all vaccines. And I encourage you guys to go to my website, crisiskey.life. You download those 11 undeniable facts, because once you serve the medical doctor, once you serve the pharmacist, you've now pierced the corporate veil, and they cannot hide behind the corporate veil. They no longer have plausible deniability. And if they don't disclose those 11 undeniable facts to we the people, and somebody takes that vaccine and they knowingly didn't disclose it, that medical doctor, the president, the senator, the House of Representatives, all those that have been served these documents directly from me and people with me, we can then prosecute those individuals civilly, but more importantly, criminally.
Yes.
Criminally. And this is why they've done everything they could to silence me, because I fear no man, I fear not Satan. My children and my grandchildren will have a future if I have anything to do with it. And you people that are listening, please comprehend that you have so much power, that they don't want you, the individual that's listening right here, right now, to comprehend how powerful you are. And I need your help. Okay. I've been to jail. I've had everything taken away from me. I'm boots on the ground, and it sucks out here. Okay. And I comprehend a lot of you don't want to go through what I went through and I am going through. And that's fine. But from behind that keyboard, I need you to prove how much power you have. Well, you can take this information that you've learned tonight, so far with me and Tim, and there's more to come. And you just share this. Okay, make a comment right now. This is how we get around the algorithms, the AI. I just need everybody that's listening to this right now, go into the comment section and just tell me what state you're from. Just tell me what state you're from, because what that's going to do is give us a power boost. Okay, and then if you like it, it goes boom, boom. And then when you reshare it, oh my gosh, it just, and this sits it out into the ether. You have all the power. You are the resistance. Okay, we've got to get this information out there, because guys, 1 in 3 of the American males are infertile. Yeah. 1 in 4 of the females are infertile. In the animal kingdom, when it gets to be 1 in 2, that animal goes extinct. And we are in the midst of the 6th extinction right here, right now. Me and a few other my medical buddies are talking about this. But the cool thing, Tim, we have the solutions. And I'm not fear-mongering. I'm smiling right now, because I know that this temple that God created, it shall heal itself from any and all things. That's my belief. I'm sticking through it. And I've seen thousands upon thousands and thousands of people, from cancer to COVID to measles to mumps to Parkinson's to Alzheimer's. There is no disease that I believe the temple can't heal itself from. I'm sorry, brother.
We will definitely touch up a little bit more on the how the body is self-healing, and we'll definitely push out some information in those regards. But was it July 30th was that hearing? And that same day, I went ahead and I posted on my personal page, and then I posted it to my other accounts. While all eyes were on Fauci's silence, what else was going on? And one of the reasons I have this show is to tell people to open your minds and think freely. And with that said, I saw my friend Frank. He posted something, and hopefully this will get you guys to think.
Quick update. Well, of course, to no surprise of anybody, the FDA has fully approved, as of yesterday, August 5th, 2026, Moderna's mRNA flu vaccine for age group 50 and over in America, first of its kind worldwide. What could possibly go wrong? And on the same day, yesterday, August 5th, 2026, Erica Schwartz was in fact confirmed as the head of the CDC. Look at her track record. Pro-vax all across the board, pro-childhood vax, autism vax connection, not true. Fully in alignment with grounded science is how she worded it. Buckle up, America. Let's get you healthy now.
Frank is an amazing guy. I follow one of his shows, which is called the Overstood Human Podcast. But so in light of today's executive order, Frank actually posted another video, so I'm going to follow up with another video from Frank.
Hey, but before you go to that video, I want to say something about mRNA technology. Okay, this is so important for you guys to hear me right now. Okay, mRNA technology, we've been led to believe, is this brand new technology that just came out during COVID. Okay, you need to hear me when I tell you, in 1962 is when they supposedly developed the mRNA technology, and they got the best antibody response they'd ever got in the history of the world to utilizing this vaccine with the mRNA technology. And they're like, guys, this technology will change. This will change vaccines as we know it. And they then exposed the ferrets. Okay, ferrets have the closest thing to a autoimmune system as we do. And they exposed the ferrets to the live virus, and every single one of them dropped dead. They dropped dead.
Sad.
And this is why they did not make it to market in 62 or 72 or 82 or 92 or 2002 or 2012, but 2020, at warp speed, done by President Trump, it finally made it to market. And this is the death shot. And those of you that still have that in you, if you do not detoxify, you're a walking, ticking time bomb. Yep. And it's a matter of time. And God love you. God bless you. We have the solutions. We have solutions that does not cost anything at all, that are free. And we love to help anybody that's willing to listen, because the chances of you dying from myocarditis, blood clots, strokes, heart attacks, it's went off the charts now. And now the new normal it's an athlete dropping dead on the playing field. When did we ever see that happen? I think there were 9 of those a year. Now there's thousands and thousands. It's the new normal for these kids that are 18, 16, 14 to be dropping dead on the playing field. Why?
Rest in my, children and young adults is just skyrocketed the amount since this whole mRNA, COVID jab has been pushed out there. It's absolutely ridiculous on this whole matter.
Play that other side now, brother.
All right. Yes, I want to play this other video in light of today's executive order. My friend Frank Tortorici posted this earlier today, actually, on his Facebook page.
So Trump signed an executive order yesterday. Now, I'm going to speak from 2 perspectives here, one from within the matrix and one from overstanding the matrix. Now, within the matrix, we can celebrate. This is the first time a president, a puppet that sits in front of the teleprompter and takes orders from handlers, actually address the dangers and acknowledges the dangers of these safe and effective products. Now, this is great news because it does bring light to this topic. Somebody like myself who was injured at 8 years old, it is kind of like a day to rejoice in a sense that we're actually getting a voice, us people. And at the same time, now parents get to decide how they want to space them out with their pediatrician. One of the things that he said when he was signing the executive order that I really liked hearing was that this is a choice and that parents in every state should still have the right to a religious and a philosophical exemption. And now, from the perspective of overstanding the matrix, well, we shouldn't be celebrating anything when it comes to the government telling us what we can and cannot do with our bodies and our children. Also, you wouldn't tell your child if they were like, hey, mom, dad, I think I want to try heroin. You wouldn't say, well, honey, space it out so the damage isn't so bad, would you? Poison is poison. And if you look at the sequence of events of what's taken place over the last 2 weeks, RFK was on that CNN show and he was getting grilled about the measles outbreak. And then we have all the Fauci spectacle that has come out. And even yesterday, how his story kind of got pushed down, lamestream media attention and newsfeed. The story about him saying that there was a connection with miscarriages. Yeah, that one. Once Trump signed this executive order, that kind of took full focal point in yesterday's news. And also, at the FDA, the current administration, they approved the first of its kind in the world, an mRNA flu shot. If I'm a betting man, they will demonize the MMR that exists, even though it's going to be split up into 3 different ones. And there's probably going to be some new type of an mRNA coming out. This is fact that pharmaceutical companies are, in fact, one of the top 3 to 5 donors for both Rebloodlickins and Democrips. So to celebrate and think that we've really made progress is naive. Again, from within the matrix, yes, it looks like we've made some progress because we actually have a president that's willing to acknowledge the dangers. But on the flip side, we must critically think and we must know what's really going on and what these people have planned for us. With the rollout of AI and all these high-tech companies that his administration is involved with, I guarantee you that there is more to come.
Wow, that's a lot of information there. And people, your best bet to open your mind is to step away from it all and look at the bigger picture. That's all I can say. Out of all honesty, we blame Reagan's administration, but I think it was Bush Sr. that pushed the whole vaccines because Bush Sr. also pushed automobile insurance. If you remember that timeline, in the late 80s, before the end of Reagan's administration, there was that brief little push for the automobile insurance. Then it went away because it was unconstitutional. Then when Bush Sr. came in office, boom, full on automobile insurance. Everybody had to have it. So there, that part is. It's just speaking my mind out loud. So
let me go into the executive order because I found this very interesting where President Trump was talking about the hepatitis B vaccine. And what he didn't mention to you people is the hepatitis B vaccine is given to your precious child within 24 hours of being born. Okay. And please hear me when I tell you this. Hepatitis B, you can only get it if you have sex and or share needles. Do you people really think that your precious child, before they're 24 hours old, do you really think they're going back to the neonatal and they're having an orgy back there? Do you really think that they're back there having sex within 24 hours? Do you really think they're back there and they're shooting up intravenous needles into their arms within 24 hours. I mean, surely to God, your children is not going to start having sex till they're at least 8 years old and start sharing needles. So wait till at least 8. I mean, this is so ridiculous. And when I brought this up to my medical doctors and friends, they just look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I mean, that's the only way you can get hepatitis B. So why are you injecting our precious children? Why? Is because they couldn't get the drug users and the prostitutes to take it, and they had to make money. And they knew when they injected that vaccine into your precious child, you know what happens, Tim? Soon as they inject that hepatitis B into that precious child, you want me to tell you what happens? Let me tell you what happens. And then let me tell you what happens.
Yeah.
The brain instantaneously begins to bleed. And why they have to give the vitamin K immediately is to coagulate the bleeding of the brain.
Wow.
This is evil. This is evil like we've never seen. Yeah. They cannot stand your children because most of these people are not real people. They have no souls. This is luciferic. This is Luciferian. This is Satan's seed, I believe. Through my studies and whatnot, I believe these people have no souls. And this is how they can rape, murder, drink the blood, adrenochrome of your children. This is not a conspiracy. This is in black and white in the Epstein files. And I'll be covering that on my show all the rest of this month on The Christopher Key Show on Twitter, The Christopher Key Show on the Rumble. We break all this down because, yes, they were murdering and trafficking your children and drinking their blood. But the key part that very few people are talking about is the cloning. And when you finally realize what they were really doing, it's going to make you step back and say, whoa, wow, who is real? And it gets really interesting. And I don't know if we got time to go into that, but cloning is real. The patents are there. And Epstein wanted to put his seed in over 1 million women. And he was in the process of doing it. And I think he's still alive. And I think he's Palm Beach Pete, and he's in freaking Miami, Florida. And I'm headed there at the end of the month to confront that ferret.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I seen a video with somebody who looks just like Fauci, or not, Epstein actually looks just like Epstein. And that's really a huge coincidence.
Well, guys, it's Palm Beach Pete, and he got a nose job. And then when we started talking about his teeth, he then immediately went in and got his teeth filed down because he knew that would be a way to identify him. And they're sitting there and laughing at us. They're like, these freaking, they have no clue. And this is where you have to have the eyes and the ears to see and hear, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So again, I ask for people to be critical thinkers, think outside the box, think outside the matrix. You got to step away from a lot of everything in order to see it. You got to be able to see all these puzzle pieces. So we're going to go a little bit more into health here. So it was on July 15th. It was posted on X that Hegseth announces the testosterone deficiency screening for troops. I want to play a little bit of that video here. So I think it's quite a long one, but we'll make it worth your while.
The Department of War, we have the most elite warriors on the face of the earth. Every single day, you are pushed to your absolute physical and mental limits to master the profession of arms. We demand your all, and you give it. But while we invest heavily in our weapon systems, platforms, and gear, our most decisive tactical advantage will always be the individual warfighter. We have a sacred duty to maintain that advantage, which is why we must constantly look for new ways to optimize your performance, your resilience, and your long-term health. And to meet that commitment today, I'm authorizing a new screening program for testosterone deficiency for our service members, ensuring you have the right testosterone levels to operate at your absolute best. Because it's well-established science that as we age, testosterone levels often naturally drop. Under the supervision of our world-class medical professionals, warfighters age 30 and older are going to be tested annually as part of their periodic health assessment. It's a health assessment that happens every year. We're just adding this test. Those under 30 can voluntarily choose to get the test as well. If treatment is recommended, It's entirely your choice to receive testosterone replacement therapy. This initiative, it's not about artificial enhancement. It's about restoring and optimizing your natural capabilities, protecting your longevity, and ensuring you have the biological foundation required to sustain the fight.
So I want to pause the video right there, because we are being attacked by so many different things, by not just the vaccines, but our food, by, fake plastics, in our clothing, and even our laundry detergent, everything. Watch out for those dishwasher pods. It's just, it's a crazy world out there. I mean, we got glyphosate that's out there. I think that's the one chemical that's in Roundup that's found in frog studies as, changing the genders from, what was it, male to female. So glyphosate is definitely not a healthy chemical, and we can find heavy amounts in a lot of different grains. So any grain in pasta, enriched or fortified, folic acid is another thing that's been hosing down and interrupting their endocrine disruptors. So basically, the endocrine is basically your hormones, hormone disruptors, we should actually call it. But it's endocrine disruptors. A lot of these things are poisoning us, and it's making our testosterone for men at a much lower level. For women, it's tweaking out their estrogen levels. So, guys, forgive the women if they seems to be a little bit off, but ask what their diet is.
Well, brother, I've got to go into this because me and Stu Peters did a special on this last week.
Yeah.
And I want to apologize to the Secretary of War because when we were playing this, Stu had pulled up a video and it showed the Secretary of War struggling to do 135 pounds. And me and Stu laughed at him. And after we did more research, because we did this off the cuff, I realized that he had done that 135 43 other times, and the 44th one was why he was struggling. And I want to say thank you, Secretary of War, that you're working out and you're pushing that amount of weight. I'm very proud of you. I want to thank you for pointing out the fact that our men's testosterone are lower than they've ever been in the history of the world. Okay, that is a scientific fact. Okay, and it is that fact because we have been poisoned by the water, the food, the air, the pesticides, the herbicides, the estrogen mimickers, all the things that you talked about. And what they're wanting to do right now is put you men on TRT, which is anabolic steroids. Okay, I've studied anabolic steroids most of my life, and anabolic steroids, if done correctly, can be very effective. Okay, but there are so many simple things that will work. And one of the things that we talk about is this product right here called Men's Edge. Dr. Lentini developed this product right here clinically, without having to inject, increases your testosterone levels by over 40%. And it has natural long jack in there, natural long talk Ali, natural tribulus, and natural fenugreek. These are God's perfect herbs. And see, what people don't comprehend with Rockefeller medicine, that they took God's perfect herbs that they couldn't patent, and they added petroleum to them. So now they can patent it, and they can put a Band-Aid on a problem to create another problem. And this is what happens when you start doing anabolic steroids. You have to take the anabolics, and you have to go from taking a quarter cc to a half a cc to a whole cc, and then it raises your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and then you go on these medications, and then your pecker don't work anymore, and then you got to take a Viagra. I mean, it is not the way to go. This right here, I believe, is the way to go. It increases your natural test by 40%. And the other thing that people don't know about is that you've heard of HGH, human growth hormone, right?
Yes.
Okay. What people don't realize, human growth hormone, number one, costs $2,000 to $4,000 a month. It is the fountain of youth. If you ask any anti-aging doctor in the world, they will tell you if you want to stay young, if you want to slow down the aging process, you want to do synthetic HGH. Okay. Judy Mikovits, Dr. Lee Merritt will tell you, no, you want to do natural IGF-1. They're killing the chickens because the chickens lay eggs, and the eggs have what's called IGF-1. This is the building block for life. This product's been banned by the NFL, the PGA, Major League Baseball, the NCAA. Why? Because it works. And when you inject HGH into your subcutaneous fat, your liver transfers it to what's called IGF-1. Dr. Lentini has deer farms in New Zealand. His deer, guys, their antlers are literally the fastest growing substance on planet Earth. They grow a full inch a day. If you would go there and stay for 24 hours, you could physically see the antler grow a full inch. And the reason why it grows so fast, Tim, is the high concentration of IGF-1 that's on the tip of the antlers. Dr. Latini has been able to extract it out without harming the deer in any form of the fashion, put it in a lipo delivery system that they patented over 30 years ago that gives your body 98% absorption without having to inject it. This is unheard of. Everybody laughs that there's no way. The patent ran out a few years ago, and now every supplement company that has half a brain is using Dr. Lentini's lipo delivery system. But more importantly, if you do the 300,000, clinically, it increases your IGF-1 levels by 60%.
Wow.
This is a game changer. This is why it's been banned by the NFL, the PGA, Major League Baseball. And if you guys go right now to getigf1.com, getigf1.com, and if you men want to become men again, if you buy the Men's Edge, we're going to give you a free bottle of the 300,000 just to say thank you. That you normally cost $300. We're going to give it to you for free, and we're going to give you a free bottle of Sleep Miracle. So many people can't sleep now because, again, of all the 5G, all the hormone disruptors. Dr. Lentini, he had PTSD from being in the Army. He created this Sleep Miracle product. You're going to get it for free, but you got to use coupon code Tim, okay? Use coupon code Tim to get that. You women, we haven't forgotten about you. We got a women product specifically for you that's got a little bit more iron, a little bit more B12 and whatnot. And if you buy that, Dr. Lentini is also going to give you a free bottle of 300,000 and a Sleep Miracle. We've never done this before. I need you guys to get healthy because you can't go preach God's word if you don't take care of your temple. And they're poisoning the temple, like we said, with the water, the food, the air, the supplements, the frequencies. They're poisoning everything. So if you want to support what we're doing, if you want to get healthy yourself, go right now to getigf1.com. You buy any of those products there, you're going to get the free bottle of Sleep Miracle. If you're the men, get the Men's Edge, you get the 300,000. You get the female, you get the 300,000. And I want to give everybody something for free. I'm a giver. I love to give away. You guys, right now, as we're having this conversation, there's frequencies that are blowing through your body right now. You can't see them, but these 5G frequencies are killing you. The clinical studies are there that they've proven this. We had all the randomized double-blind placebo studies, and when the government came in 11 years ago and seized everything I own, they seized all my computers, all our medical records, all our lab work, everything we had that proved that these little chips right here, these little guys right here, these are free. Most people sell these for $100 a piece. Anybody that texts me their name, address, and email, I will send these to you for free. If you text it to 561-329-8434, you're going to put these on your cell phone, your laptop, any electronic device, and it's going to help you deal with these bad frequencies that are all around you. It's not going to block them, because if it blocked them, you wouldn't get a cell signal, but it's going to help you deal with it better. And then these right here, so many of your listeners have pain, and so many are taking, Lortab or Oxycontin or oxycodone or you name it. That is a Band-Aid to a problem. This right here, this is what got me into every NFL locker room, Major League Baseball, the PGA. If you have any pain in your body, you take one of these, you peel it off, put it where the pain is. You take two others and you put above if the pain is going up or below if it's going down. Instantaneously, the pain is greatly decreased, if not gone. I love it when it doesn't work for somebody, Tim, because I want to know why God made you different so I can go back to the lab and make this better. Because I believe, Tim, there is no disease. All there is lack of cell-to-cell communication. And when the cells quit communicating with each other, it causes inflammation. That inflammation has been given many names like cancer, COVID, measles, mumps. And all you have to do is make the cells communicate. These little chips right here will do that. If you need more frequencies, we have Tesla technology, we have Royal Raymond Rife technology, we have scalar technology, we have the cloud, we have many different modalities, but these right here are free, and this will show you what I'm preaching to you guys is real. Because when you put these where the pain is, and the pain is greatly decreased, if not gone, you're like, my God, how did that happen? It happened because your body is electric. If you've not read the book, The Body's Electric by Robert Becker, I encourage you guys to all go read that book. Your body's electric. So this makes the cells communicate. This allows the body to rebuild, to regrow, to rejuvenate. The food is the medicine. The medicine is our food. Our food's not real food anymore. We're working on that. But until we do, IGF-1 is going to give your body the nutrients it needs to repair itself. And then the icing on the cake, you guys, if you don't know about Masterpiece, this is a miracle. Peer-reviewed, published papers proven the nanobots, the nanodots, the mercury, the aluminum, the graphene oxide, the nanodust, all those things are removed 80% within 90 days of utilizing this product. Dr. Robert Young, who's one of my very good friends, he's in prison right now because of this product right here. Pray for him. He's supposed to get out this week. I was there when he was sentenced a year ago, and I'll be there when he gets out this week. He's a godsend. This in Matthew, this was their invention. This product right here is less than $1 a day. You can go to crisiskey.life. At the very top, it says Masterpiece. You click on Masterpiece. If you just become an affiliate, it doesn't cost you anything, but if you become an affiliate and you share your link with your families and friends, we pay 25% commission because we can't market and advertise this. So we're needing you guys to help us get this information out there. Alex, the Fat Man Jones, was with Jesse Beltran and Matthew a couple weeks ago, and a couple months ago now. And Alex had not taken the vaccine. Alex had not taken the nasal swab. But with Jesse Beltran's devices, he was able to measure that Alex had over 12. I think it was 12 self-assembling nanobots inside of his body, and those things are real. The patents are there, and that's where they can start doing voice to skull and making you think things, and you've got to get these toxic chemicals out. Masterpiece is a miracle. Masterpiece, 80% reduction of utilizing this for 90 days. And then Matthew was with David Icke a few months back, and they were able to go in the desert and show where there were people that were registering with an IP address, okay? And by utilizing Masterpiece, that IP address went away.
Wow.
This is real. This is real, guys, and we want you to have access to this. So if you want the free pain and energy chips to try to see what I'm saying is real, text me your name, address, and email to 561-329-8434. I'll send them anywhere in the world for free, except my great state of Alabama. With my court order, I cannot send to Alabama. But if you got a friend that lives in Georgia, I can send them to them. If they send them to you in Alabama, that's on you. Okay. And listen, in our court documents, they have seized over 100,000 of these chips. Okay. I can't afford to send them out certified because that costs $8 to $10. So I put a little 58-cent stamp on there, or 72-cent stamp. Now they went up again. Listen, if you don't get them within 7 days, you text or call me again. God told me to take every phone call, return every text. I honor my Father in heaven. He didn't say nothing about an email. So do not send me a freaking email, okay? Because I can barely open an email. I'm dyslexic. I'm ADHD. I'm DD and dumber. So I try to make everything I do simple, stupid, okay? Yeah. Simple, stupid. And if you guys do not get them in 7 days, please call me back. You need to have these. We know how powerful these 5G frequencies are. And these little chips right here, they're going to do the best at allowing your body to deal with those bad frequencies much, much better. And last thing before we go, I know we ain't got much time left, but peptides. All you guys have heard about peptides. We now have the best peptide manufacturing facility in the world in Ventura, California, purepeptidespro.com. You can get your MOXC, your BPC 157, and you don't have to inject them. We do it in what is it called? Not nano. It'll come to me in a second. But we've got all the peptides. They're not injectable. Microdosing. We do microdosing. And if you've never tried R-methylene blue at Nutronics, NutrimentsPro.com, use coupon code KEY, K-E-Y. You get a 10% discount. If you want to be lit up all day long, not have a crash, have unbelievable steady energy, this methylene blue blows everything out of the water. You cannot go preach God's word if you don't take care of your temple, and they know this. This is why they've done everything they can to disconnect you from Yahweh, so you can't have that connection with the one and only, your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And that's why they continue to poison you with the water, the food, the air, the supplements, the frequencies. And I've done everything I could for 28 years to find the solutions. And I don't go out here fear-mongering. I go out here boots on the ground. But most importantly, I provide you with the solutions. God provides you with the solutions through me, with me, in him, so you can go be the better you. And I need men, I need women to stand up to this tyranny, because they are coming for every single one of us. And I promise you, my grandson, who's now 19 months old, my granddaughter, who's now 3 months old, will never look at me and say, Peepaw. They call me Peepaw. And that's for another story of another day. But my grandson calls me Peepaw. He'll never say Peepaw. Why didn't you speak up? People, why didn't you speak out? Guys, I'm doing my part, and God through me has got a lot more to do, and I promise you, God through me will get it done. But my question again, as I asked you earlier, are you doing your part? Are you doing your part? And like I said, you don't want to be boots on the ground. You don't want to go to jail, have everything. I comprehend that because this sucks.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to do it, and I'm the least of these, and I know what my father called me to do since I was 11 years old, and I will not stop. I fear no man, I fear not Satan, but you have all the power. I need your help. I need you to share this episode right now. I need you to comment what state you're in right now. I need you to like this right now. This is how we get the information out there. We win. They know that, but they're going to try to take as many souls to hell as they can. And this is why you that is listening, you have to help on your end. You can't sit around as a Christian and do nothing. You don't have to do as much as I do. I comprehend that. But right there, you are the resistance. They want you to think you're just little old Christopher. Hey, I can't touch nobody. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Absolutely. So I got to give a quick little disclosure. This is not a paid promotion for all of you YouTubers out there, because I know YouTube. Yeah, so this is not a paid promotion from Tim Holliday TV or Patriots 3, Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. So I just got to get that out of the way so I don't get flagged. So, and Christopher is definitely boots on the ground. So he was in DC at the Fauci hearing, and not too many days later, he was over in Arizona. And so there's actually something else that's affecting a greater part of the nation. And you were where, in Cherokee Nation?
I was in Apache Nation, my brother.
Apache Nation. My apologies.
That's fighting words too. I heard.
I know. That's why I apologize.
The Bloods, brother. You don't do it.
I
The Democrats
totally
and the Republicans.
I totally apologize right quick here. So note that, please. Anyways, let me play a quick little segment here, because this is something that affects a lot of Americans, and I know it affects a lot of people around me in my life, and the area that I live in as well. Wow, you wouldn't believe what it's like here in Southwest Missouri.
Wow.
But yeah. So here's a little segment here, and this holds a lot of truth, and this actually touched me, and I will post where you can watch the entire interview. This is only 18 seconds, but wow, the rest of the interview is absolutely wonderful.
Once trapped me in that life where I was an alcoholic, I was a druggie, where I was all these things, because I was trying to fill a hole in my heart with everything else that everybody else wanted from me and to be and how to react, and I was missing that love because we weren't taught it, but we're taught to please everybody else in this world.
Yeah, we are taught to be everything else in this world. People pleasers. And we shouldn't do that. We should learn how to love ourselves. As Christopher was explaining earlier, love thy temple. Love your body. You know, you wouldn't need any of that substance that causes, this brain malfunction, because wow, yeah, your thoughts are not there. That's absolutely true.
But brother, it's so much bigger than that. And I've had alcoholism, all throughout my family, and it is so sad, and it touches me dearly. And when I was there in Arizona with the Apache Nation, and to hear this young man and many of the other young men and older men, the elders talk, I mean, these are spirits. Okay. Alcohol is a spirit.
Yes.
It is a spirit by design. And those spirits come out of you when you're drinking, and that's not you. And you guys all know that, and girls all know that. When you wake up afterwards, you're like, what in the hell just happened? Why did I do that? Because the spirits took over you. And you need to comprehend this is completely satanic. It's totally Luciferian. This is why the television that lies, and always tells lies on Sunday, because Sunday is not the Sabbath. The Sabbath is Saturday. You've been lied to about everything from religion to politics to Israel to everything, okay? It's time you guys wake the hell up and comprehend. And you can handle the truth, okay? I know you can. You want to. You see it. You hear it in your gut that something's not right. And when you get this temple taken care of, he will show you the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God, I promise you. Yeah. But you have to get sober. And this is one of the things why I went there to Apache country in Arizona, because I know we can help. We have the natural supplements that can help, I believe, and then the counseling, the self-love. It's so many different pieces, and we're willing to take on that challenge. And we're trying to get right now into the elders, and I'm hoping that I will get back down there this weekend, and we can start this, because those are my people.
Yeah.
And the story that's very rarely ever told is the massacre that happened in the Holocaust was terrible. But what happened in America to the Native Indians, just it was so much more. Nobody talks about that. And these are the salt of the earth. These are the best of the best. These men and women, they love like no other. They fight like no other. They know and grow like no other. And they have no hope right now. Everything's been taken away from them. And those are my people. We're trying to create an army. We're trying to create a tribe, not an army. We're trying to create a tribe of those that are like-minded, that want to go and love and heal this planet. And anywhere they're going to build a smart city, Tim, we're going to build God's community that we call home, that's self-sufficient, that's off the grid, where we've got our chickens, we got our eggs, we got our fish, we got our watermelon, we got our pears, our peaches. We teach the men how to hunt again. We teach the men how to run a trot line. We teach the women how to cook, how to sew, do the things that they were intended to do, instead of going to that 8-to-5 job that they all hate every single day. And they're doing it to keep up to the Joneses, and they don't know why. They have no clue why, because they're supposed to. No, they're not. Right. You've got everything. You don't need this stuff. It's nothing but stuff. And you guys are fighting amongst yourself. I'm fighting against my family. Why? Because we've been programmed to believe these things. And it's time we wake up from this trance, wake up from the mass hypnosis, and realize this is mass eugenics, and they're coming for every single one of us.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we got to unlearn what we've been taught and relearn, and we got to, pull the weeds to find the truth. And that's where, we find, Christ. Absolutely. Definitely follow the path. So, folks, we got to wrap it up. Definitely follow Christopher Keys. You can find him on his website. What's your website again?
ChristIsKey.life, getigf1.com. So ChristIsKey.life, getigf1.com. Make sure you use coupon code Tim and get that discount. And love you guys. God bless. You have all the power. Share this far and wide, guys. Love you guys. God bless. Christ is Key. My cell number, if you have any questions, if you want the pain and energy chips, 561-329-8434.
Repeat that one more time.
561-329-8434. Text me your name, your address, and your email, and I'll get these shipped out to you tomorrow. And like I said, if you don't get it within 7 days, call or text me back. I'll send them out as many times as I have to until you get them. They cost you absolutely nothing.
Again, this is not a paid promotion. I'm not getting paid, and neither is Patriots 3, Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. Okay, YouTube, I got you covered. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, please like, share, and follow Tim Holliday TV. So if you want to watch Patriots 3, Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness, go to Tim Holliday TV. That's TimHolliday TV. Where you can find us on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitch TV, iHeartRadio, Spotify, as well as Apple Podcast. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, definitely tune in on Thursday. We're going to have another wonderful guest. Until next time, ciao for now.